Let's join channel here over at SubStars. Now we're Buy Me a Coffee. So Predator Girl Power Edition. Predator meets, well, a lot of derivative earlier science fiction. The screen here is showing Harry Harrison, the stainless steel rat author, and Death World. To take a look at where Predator and Alien started, and then to look at their sequels, is to understand that Hollywood is ending and woke diversity is responsible. And someone pointed out, well, Alien was, I think, 79, Predator was 87. Somebody pointed out the Predator, the 87 Predator, and you look at a screen like a publicity photo, and you see the special forces crew that goes out there, and it's like it's diverse. And at the time, you didn't think anything of it, and it was a great movie for what it was, a vibe movie. And you know, even the chick he rescued, I think it was Southeast Asia was probably its setting. A fantastically shot movie, film movie. And the plot doesn't matter. It's like they're blasting away the bad guy. It's kind of ridiculous Arnold type of fun stuff. But the filming, the vibe of being in this very green jungle with an alien who's got a cloak on worked absolutely fantastically. But you know, and the left wing would say this: if they showed that photo of the Predator crew now, you'd go, "Oh, it's probably going to be woke," and they're right. If I looked at that, it's like, oh, it's an Indian guy and two black guys, and then a couple other guys. I'd be like, oh yeah. But the reason is it's not our fault is because we've had this correlation of when you see diversity, you know they're going to be Mary Sue's. Now in 87 Predator, they were not Mary Sue's. That's the difference. So yeah, I would, if that came out today, if the 87 Predator came out today, most people would look at that diversity and simply reject it. And they would be, they're just playing the odds. They'd be right. And people are, it's beyond that. It's like, even though the movie wasn't, didn't turn the nons into didn't turn anyone into Mary Sue's except for the lead character. It People are just tired of diversity. So even an 87 Predator wouldn't connect with the audience the same way because people see diversity on screen now, and it's a Pavlovian response that is well earned because people are sick of Mary Sue's, and there's like the feeling between different groups is not is on a low. So a Predator nowadays just would not connect to the audience. So first of all, for some reason, people are saying that this Badlands movie is a franchise leading success because it made $40 million over the weekend, and it beat the 2018 The Predator at $38 million. And the thing is, this movie beat by $2 million without adjusting for inflation. That movie bombed. Which doesn't bode well for this movie. And then once you adjust for inflation, that movie made $63 million compared to $40 million here, and it still bombed. So this movie, at the best it's going to hope for, is just to try to break even. It's a movie that if it was on its own, without the history and baggage of a lot of earlier films, it would have done better. Like Solo from Disney's Star Wars was better than the Disney trilogy, but people were sick of Disney Star Wars and just everything just being so insanely woke. So Solo, which wasn't a bad movie, was treated like it was a bad movie. And that happens a fair amount of times with the stimulus response because, hey, movies aren't free. People are not going to, it's your time and money to go to a theater and kind of like invest some time in a movie. You're like, it's just not worth it when the past half dozen movies have been bad from this company. It's like, you're not going to go take a risk. Like they've lost the benefit of the doubt. So with something like Solo, if you have Disney Plus, you watch it on that, or you simply go sailing. So for this Badlands movie, it made sense for what it was trying to do, which felt like it was trying to start to move the movie in a Disney Kids version, where it had a little bit of a Battle Angel vibe, and it sort of worked, even though it felt really derivative from a ton of earlier science fiction stories and even earlier movies. But it wasn't Predator. It was the same old Bolshevik found family diversity is our strength meets Harry Harrison Death World series meets Trapped on Prism or Sentenced to Prism with Alan Dean Foster, which is a fantastic book. And it's like, well, hey, aren't those found families as well? Yes, but they're not preachy and woke, and you have to read it to know. And it's also we haven't been, like I said with Predators, like since Predator 40 years ago, we've been beat over the head with this far left wing globalist nonsense where it's just we're just done with diversity. So yeah, Sentenced to Prism was a found family with aliens, but he wasn't. Thing is, he wasn't rejecting the original family. He was rejecting his original human family. He was rejecting the technology, sort of. Though I guess they were a little bit of outcasts. But again, whenever this book was written, it's current year, and we've had like decades of this kind of heavily pushed anti-white propaganda. But the movie sort of works for like a Return of the Jedi Ewoks kids movie. But the undertones are there's wokeism in it. There's non-white coded third world diversity who are slaughtering European coded people. Admittedly, they were androids, but it's like every single time you see protagonists and antagonists and they look a certain way. And I have a simple question. It might not be politically correct, but why not make the antagonists anything other than European coded? You can make them Arab, black, Asian, Indian, whatever you want. It seems really weird when it's always the same thing, and then there's the fixation with blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and you go, yeah, you're reading too much into. Yikes, my guy, touch grass. No, as Anita, I married myself at 40 Sarkeesian says, this is anti-white globalist propaganda against the marginalized and oppressed people of European descent, and it is your duty to point it out. How well did Feminist Frequency do? She took that money and she just, I don't know, she's probably living in Costa Rica now, but she took millions of dollars went into that channel. And I guess they closed up shop. So I'm doing the Lord's work, and thanks to all those who have been supporting with the various platforms. So the movie was not worth going to the theater for, but it will be worth sailing the high seas for and making some popcorn and watching it at home to get back in the vibe of a different take on Predator. The plot's about some runt alien goes to Death World, and an annoying millennial has to teach him about teamwork with the Bolshevik non-white found family, which is 2 aliens and a robot, and then he gets bukkakied by Grok and fights Sigourney Weaver in her augmented bodysuit, and then goes back to Vulcan with his pet Chewbacca and C-3PO, and finally earns his cloak by, I think patricide is the punchline. It's just a collection of earlier stories, and some of what hurts is that he's teamed up with an android, so there's no stakes because it's silicon. It's a machine. He can throw it to a monster to eat it to distract it. It doesn't matter. It's not self-aware. But in the Disney version of AI, the machine, I guess, gains self-awareness. So thanks to Elon Musk for that future horror. So no, this is not the big, or it's probably gonna come out of China. To be honest, it's not the. What about ethics? Like, what are those? But it's not the big hit to get people back in the theaters. 40 million domestic for the weekend means it will probably break even. So when Bleeding Fool and Fandom are talking it up, I'm assuming they're getting like a free t-shirt or something, because it's really just not great. And to be fair, to try to follow the 87 Predator with that amazing cast with the chemistry they have, that's an impossible act to follow. The actor chemistry is lightning in a bottle. Every so often, every few years, movies will come along and they'll hit on that. And like, well, those are the movies that are in the top 100. And Predator was one of those. A New Hope with Star Wars, or the Indiana Jones Raiders was one of them. And Predator 2 sort of worked because they wisely went in a different direction with it, and that was clever, though it wasn't a financial success. But the positives to say about this Predator Badlands is that the CGI was really solid. I think it was only $100 million movie, but then you have to ask, well, okay, but what did you spend on advertising? Would be the issue. To at least when I was watching it on a tablet. The thing is, with this movie, I forget what company owns the rights to it, but wherever it goes on streaming, Netflix, Amazon, Disney, HBO, whoever gets the initial rights to it, as soon as it's online, a perfect 4K copy goes out to the high seas sites. And like 15 minutes after it's live on Amazon, it's already been ripped. People, you can find it that night. That's how fast it is. So you don't have to go to the theater to see these things. You can watch it on a big screen TV with a subwoofer that is literally in your couch under your seat, so you feel the when the T-Rex in 1993's dinosaur movie Jurassic Park, and the T-Rex walks like the subwoofer at home, you can feel that the water glass, you see it vibrating, that kind of stuff. You don't actually have to go to the theater anymore. And you don't even have to subscribe to Netflix if you don't want to. Because like why would you be loyal to these kind of horrible companies that change your favorite movies, classics without telling you or giving you like trigger warnings for, I don't know, was it the Song of the South or some kind of Disney animations or some kind of nonsense? Instead of just saying you're going to need to stop being pussies if a show from 50 years ago is just triggering to you. You're not going to make it when the Civil War comes, which is anyway. So this is not going to get people back in the theaters. Hollywood needs to do a lot better than just milquetoast movies, but Hollywood has no interest in being better. And the upside is that we're a few years away from people using AI to make movies at home. You get a couple people together and figure it out, and it's like you're talking about a very small investment where just a few $1,000s to get a movie together. Like you can use real actors, and then the entire backgrounds could be AI, or like the whole thing could be AI. I don't really like the thought of that. I like the idea of using human actors, but instead of green screens like that whole thing, like people will be filming movies in their house and backyard. Like you film a movie in your living room because everything is AI, so it'll give you the perception of depth, and you're walking down hallways and going around corners, and it's like the AI would fill in the background. Like you'd be on a spaceship, you can be in a jungle, and it would just do that for you. So we're going to be making our own movies, and Hollywood is going to be derelicting our balls, which is going to be a lot of fun to look forward to. Because imagine making movies that don't have to be politically correct. Edgy humor, yeah, absolutely. Like step on the gas, you can do anything you want. And that's gonna be oh god, it's gonna blow Hollywood out of the water. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks to everyone over at Buy Me a Coffee and Subscribe Star, and I'll see you guys on next episode.